opposition, Kemi Badenoch.
Let's go. What you going for?
Mr. Speaker, can I first of all take this opportunity to congratulate the member for Rochdale for being the toady of the week, helping the Prime Minister. Yeah. We all know it's.
What? What? Why have we start? Okay, there we go. Come on, it's quite an easy week for you, Kemi Badenoch. You've got this. You've got this. She's still chuckling.
There's a lot of people wanting to catch my eye today. There is some free hits on this side. I won't waste your opportunity.
It's been a difficult week for the Prime Minister. So let's start with something simple. Can the Prime Minister tell the House how much his welfare bill is going to save?
Absolute classic question there from Badenoch. How much is it going to cost? Because he's not going to say, he's not going to stand, he's not got a figure. So he's going to get up and he's going to say how great we are, we've done this, we've done that, and 14 years of Conservative rule, blah, 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 blah. Because she's asked a really direct question and I just don't think he's got an answer.
Mr. Speaker, let me start by saying free school matters on this side of the House. Mr. Speaker, in relation to welfare, what we delivered last night was a bill which ends mandatory reassessment of those with severe disabilities. That is the right thing to do. It rebalances universal credit. That is long overdue, and it sets out a pathway to reform of PIP. Mr. Speaker,
we still had nothing about. She said how much it's going to save, and he said some other things. Is he going to answer anything now?
It's consistent with the principles I set out throughout. If you can work, you should work. If you need help into work, the state should provide the help. The system that they broke doesn't do so. And if you can't work...
I think there's one or two I can spot immediately. Usual voices, same names, please. It's too early to leave the chamber. Prime Minister.
And Mr. Speaker, if you can't work, you must be supported and protected. The reformed welfare system that we're putting in place will be better for individuals, better for the taxpayer, and better for the economy.
Okay, so no costings at all. No attempt to answer the question, just the same old stuff. And also, because there was an interruption, but he stood up saying exactly the same thing. It shows that he's reading the script. Someone else has written this stuff for him. He knows the question's coming. He's battered it off. The Conservatives are shouting, answer the question. The Speaker had to tell him off. It's all pretty unedifying and pretty pointless and really undermines... Well, he could say it undermines our democracy if you're feeling particularly grumpy. But 5 more questions to go. Let's see if it improves.
Kemi Badenoch.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think the Prime Minister actually watched what happened in the House yesterday. His bill was completely gutted. A U-turn in the middle of the debate, removing Clause 5. Where on earth was he? The reason why he can't answer the question is because he knows it doesn't save any money. It's going to cost millions. This is the first Prime Minister in history to propose a bill to save money who ended up with a bill which costs money. So if the bill doesn't cut well...
Listen, she's reading this, but the goal is so wide open. This is such an open goal for her that it's quite effective. It just feels like it's so easy.
Welfare spending. Can the Prime Minister tell the House how many people it will get into work?
Another direct question. He's got nothing. There's no way he can answer it. Although, to be fair, last time he didn't get stuck into 14 years Conservative mismanagement. So I presume that's what's going to happen now, because he needs to keep not answering the question, because she's asking clear, specific, deliberate things to which he cannot say anything, because he's not going to say, oh, I don't think it's going to get anyone back into work.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm glad she asked that because it gives me the opportunity to say we've already started changing the job centres and investing in support back into work. The Trailblazer scheme, which is doing exactly what she asked me, which is getting people back into work. The bill last night will help people back into work, and of course the Timms review is ongoing. But I tell you what won't help people back into work, won't help control the costs, and that is voting to keep the broken system. And that is what they did.
So he started, I mean, job centre chat. Yeah, sure. That like literally job centres are there to get people back into work. That's a reasonable answer, actually. I mean, she said, what will this bill do? But he then launched into other things that he's doing. And that's kind of that's what I'd want from PMQs. But now he's slipped into, I'll tell you what won't help. It's like, come on now.
Last night, everybody in this house accepts that current system is broken. It invites the question, who broke it? They broke it. And last
here we are, 14 years. I told you it was coming.
night, they voted for the status quo. The broken system is their policy. That won't help individuals, taxpayer, and it certainly won't help the economy.
Mr. Speaker, I'll tell him what we did on welfare. Yes, they can laugh. While they're laughing, they don't know.
Oh dear. Why are they laughing? It's not a good look. Like, it doesn't make you look strong. They're laughing because they're taking the mick out of you, they're ridiculing you, and then she's just not natural at this. She's getting better. She said she's getting better.
My party delivered the biggest reform of welfare in government. We got record numbers of people into work, including millions of disabled people, and we cut the deficit every year until COVID. The fact is, we're not scared of doing difficult things on this side of the house. We got people back into work. What he forgets is that since the election, since he became Prime Minister, an additional 1,000 people a day are signing on to incapacity benefits. That is 50% more than under us. 50% more than under us. And Mr. Speaker, astonishingly, because of the mess they made yesterday, because there are no more savings, sickness benefits alone are set to rise to £100 billion on his watch. He cannot reduce that now.
Order. Mr. McKee, I think we've had a run-in before. I certainly don't want any more.
So she's making quite a good argument. She's building the argument. Clearly, he's going to come back and challenge the stats that she's just made, but quite a good argument. And then we've got this. So every single PMQs, Lindsay Hoyle, that's the speaker, that's this fella here. He says, oh, you better stop talking or I'm going to get rid of you. You'll be sent out. You won't do this. So he's never sent anyone out. Or like maybe one. So I was a teacher for 10 years, right? If I just kept on saying to the kids, oh, if you don't stop talking, then I'll get angry, then you'll see, that it doesn't work. And so they keep doing this thing, and it's just, come on, like, think about it. He's not thinking about it. Think about it, man.
Oh, seriously, you're obviously not getting your timing right because I can hear your voice every time. Kemi Badenoch.
I'll start again, Mr. Speaker. Sickness benefits, louder for those at the back, sickness benefits are set to rise to £100 billion because of their mess. They cannot now reduce it. They can't reduce it because after last night's humiliating U-turn, we know he cannot control his MPs. They're cheering now, but you signed the amendment. Over 100 people signed that reasoned amendment until the bill was completely gutted. He said that he would take the difficult decisions, but isn't the reality that he is too weak to get anything done?
Oh, that was quite feisty. I like that. You signed the amendment. I mean, like, you're not supposed to use the word you in the House of Commons, but sod it. In that case, I enjoyed it. It was quite punchy. And there was no question. Oh, isn't it the case that you can't get anything done? I mean, it's kind of a question. I suppose it's a bit of a question, but no, it's not a real question. Come on. So what's he going to say? He's just going to get up and use more rhetoric nonsense, I guess.
Mr. Speaker, I'll tell them what they did to the welfare system. They broke it. And it's the same as the NHS. What did they do? They broke it. Same as the economy. What did they do? They broke it. They broke everything that they touched. And now she describes the broken system that we are trying to fix. What did she do? She voted against fixing the system that they broke. And I'll tell you, Mr. Speaker, and spell that out, they voted last night for the system that is keeping 1 million young people not learning or earning. That is a disgrace of their system. They voted for a system where we have 3 million people out of work.
So he's obviously grandstanding here. I mean, like, of course the opposition voted against your bill. That's how it works. He's grandstanding, and she's let him by not asking him a question. So this is pointless.
On ill health, and they voted for that system. We're fixing it. We're clearing up the mess that they left, just like we're clearing up the NHS and the economy.
He's so much more comfortable talking about the economy than he is benefits, because he can look at all the fiscal rules, he can talk about all of that stuff really happily and confidently. So he's trying to say, just like they broke the NHS, all of that stuff. Like, NHS and the economy he feels much safer with, which is why he's trying to move it away and bring them in when they've got nothing to do with Badenoch's line of questioning. Let's hope that this time Badenoch actually asks him something.
He's got some brass neck. Has he read the papers this morning? Has he read the papers this morning? That bill will achieve nothing. It is a pointless waste of time and is absolute proof that he doesn't have a plan. Let me tell the House what's going to happen. In November, the Chancellor is going to put up our taxes to pay for his incompetence. We on this side of the House know that you can't tax your way to growth. But people out there are frightened. People out there...
More putting taxes on.
Yes. These are the same people who cheered when they talked about the NI rise and the jobs.
Can we just this nonsense back and forth? Chris Philp on your screen right here with his frowny forehead shouting, "You're the one putting up taxes." And it is complicated. It's complicated. This, like, I was a secondary school teacher, man. I didn't see this stuff. This happens at primary.
Tax. Why are they complaining now? People out there are frightened. Can he, Mr. Speaker, can he reassure them by ruling out tax rises in the autumn budget?
Prime Minister.
Okay, really important this. He's not going to rule it out. It has been ruled out in the past, but they are going to come. Badenoch is completely right. They are going to come. Unless he is so rattled by last night, he is now going to come and rule out tax. But I don't think he will. It would be a massive shock if he did. Also, I should note that I'm watching this live the first time while I speak to you, so I genuinely don't know what's about to happen. Let's see.
Mr. Speaker, she knows that no Prime Minister or Chancellor ever stands at the dispatch box and writes budgets in the future. That isn't what they did, it isn't what we did.
So, no, he's not going to rule it out. But people have ruled it out from the dispatch. No, I think she ruled it out in a speech. Rachel Reeves has ruled it out in the past, which is why they keep saying, and he's refusing to rule it out.
And she knows it. But she talks about growth. For 14 years, we had stagnation, and that is what caused the problems. And I'm really pleased, Mr. Speaker, to show the progress that we're making. I can update the House. Last week, Amazon put in £40 billion of investment into this country, one of the biggest investments of its time.
Grandstanding. This is being defensive. He wants to talk about this. This is what he wants to talk about. She is saying, well, you were going to save $5 billion from this bill. That's not going to happen. You're going to save $1.5 billion from winter fuel payments. That's not going to happen. So you got to find £6.5 billion somewhere. You're going to raise taxes. And he's then found a kind of loophole to say, no, I won't. And he's suddenly talking about Amazon. This is deflection and defensiveness.
That brought the inward investment to £120 billion in the first year of this Labour government. Mr. Speaker, I can also tell the House that business confidence is the highest for 9 years. That's longer than the whole time that the opposition's been in Parliament, and the figures this week demonstrated and showed we had the fastest growth in the G7 in the first quarter of this year. What a difference to the mess they left. That's the difference a Labour government made.
I mean, sure, some of that stuff did sound quite good, but there's also clearly things that aren't going very well. And he's been given that freedom by Kemi Badenoch to just stand there and list some stuff. And that gives the Labour MPs a chance to cheer, and that brings a bit of unity behind them. It looks like everything's going well. And don't forget, this was a PMQs. This is the PMQs for her to get into him. I've lost count. She's got 1 or 2 questions left. I think we're going to see the temperatures rise, but she needs to ask those questions.
Mr. Speaker, he talks about jobs. Unemployment has risen every month since Labour took office. Has he spoken to Nissan, by the way, and looked at what's happening there? This man has forgotten that his welfare bill was there to plug a black hole created by the Chancellor. Instead, they're creating new ones. She looks... Mr. Speaker, she's pointing at me. She looks absolutely miserable. Labour MPs, yeah, she looks absolutely miserable. Labour MPs, they can point as much as they can point.
She does look a little bit stressed. I mean, I wouldn't say miserable. She just it's hard to smile when you've had clearly a not brilliant time.
As much as they like. The fact is, Labour MPs are going on the record saying that the Chancellor is toast. And the reality is that she is a human shield for his incompetence. In January, he said that she would be in post till the next election. Will she really?
Prime Minister.
Oh, come on. Will she really? That might be a good question in some kind of made in Chelsea nonsense. Will she really? What possible answer is he going to get?
She certainly won't. Mr. Speaker, I have to say I'm always cheered up when she asks me questions or responds to a statement, because she always makes a complete mess of it and shows just how unserious and irrelevant they are. But she talks about the black hole. They left a £22 billion black hole in our economy, and we're clearing it up. And I'm really proud, Mr. Speaker, that in the first year of a Labour government we got free school meals, breakfast clubs, childcare, got £15 billion.
Yep. Here's the list. The list that she's allowing him to deliver unchecked. So, what's the point? I find him hectoring her about not doing it well enough. I find that a bit distasteful. I don't think it's, she is attacking his policy. She's attacking all kinds of things, but not his demeanour. I suppose he was saying that Rachel Reeves looked miserable. I don't like it. I don't like it when he criticises her like that. I think it's not very nice.
Invested in transport in the North and the Midlands. We're cutting regulation, planning and infrastructure is pounding forward, building 1.5 million homes, the biggest investment in social and affordable housing, and of course, Mr. Speaker, the 3 trade deals. Remember the ones that they couldn't get, including the US trade deal. On Monday, those tariffs came down. That secured the jobs at JLR. That's who we care about on this side of the House.
How awful for the Chancellor that he couldn't confirm that she would stay in place. Yeah. He talks...
That was the line. She was setting up. But to be fair, I quite enjoyed that. How awful for her. She got... It's more stylish than I thought it was going to be. So, I like it. He's not ruled out tax rises. He's not ruled out firing Reeves. This is a smooth roll, a smooth flow that's going to flow into next week and the week after and the week after. Not as shabby as I thought, Kemi Badenoch.
It's about this year in office. This week marks the first anniversary of Labour coming into office. And let's have it. Yes. The whips can't get them in the lobbies, but they can get them to cheer at the right time. Yeah. The fact is, his own MPs are saying this government is, and I quote, incoherent and shambolic. That's Liverpool Wavertree that said that. I could go on and on. But the fact is, it's been mistake after mistake after mistake. There is no plan to get people into work. There is no plan to cut the welfare budget. There is no strategy. There is just a series of humiliating U-turns like winter fuel, like grooming gangs. Mr. Speaker, what's really shocking is that every other party in this House voted for even more welfare spending yesterday. Yes, those MPs behind him and the Lib Dems and Reform. The Conservative Party believes that this country needs to live within its means. We know what we believe, Mr. Speaker, but this is a Prime Minister who has U-turned on everything he's done in office, including his own speeches, because he doesn't know what he believes. With left-wing Labour MPs now running the government, isn't it working people who will now pay the price?
There we go. I think that speech, it was quite fun, it was quite jovial, it was quite demanding, it was quite bossy. I liked it. She read out what one backbench MP, I think it was Ian Lavery, Liverpool Wavertree, but she read out what one MP said. I think she could have done more of that. I think she could have gone deeper into all the things that were said by Labour MPs. And that could have been quite exciting. She's not asked him a question here. He's gonna do some lists about how great they are. He's probably gonna talk about 14 years, blah 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 blah. Listen, if he does all that, I'm just gonna fast forward through the end. And thanks for joining us the first time we've done this. And I'll see you next week. Cheers. Bye bye bye. Let's just let this roll.
Mr. Speaker, this is why she always cheers me up. She talks about living within their means, having left a £22 billion of black hole. Mr. Speaker, she talks about the first year. I'm really proud of our first year in government. We promised, Mr. Speaker, 2 million extra NHS appointments. We've delivered 4 million. A promise made and a promise delivered. We promised the biggest upgrade to workers' rights in a generation within the first 100 days. Promise made, promise delivered. We promised free breakfast clubs. That's a promise made and a promise delivered. Banning bonuses for water bosses who pollute our rivers. That's the mess they left. A promise made and a promise delivered. Creating GB Energy. A promise made and a promise delivered. The largest increase in defence spending since the last Labour government. A promise made and a promise delivered. And putting more money in the pockets of working people, particularly the 3 million who are the lowest paid through the national minimum wage. A promise made and a promise delivered. We're only getting started, and the Chancellor has led on all these issues, and we're grateful to her for it.
Natasha Allen.
Thank you.